Nolan Wells' quote-unquote friend finally speaks out and have a sit-down interview and give his account as to what happened on Horn Island. Let's talk about it. Nolan Wells' supposedly friend Warren had a sit-down interview with Officer Tatum. And in this interview, he gave account as to what happened when they arrived on Horn Island and up until the point him and the other boys got on the boat and Nolan stayed behind on Horn Island. And we're going to dissect the lies he has told during this interview. In this first clip, I'm going to show you he is going to talk about when he last saw Nolan. Take a look at this clip.
The last time I saw Nolan was 3 o'clock. And Nolan was cradling a girl in his arms, Katie. Katie. And Katie, Nolan was sitting there, and the last time I saw him, I looked at Nolan, and Nolan was like shaking his head, laughing, and I was like, dude, you crazy. I was like just joking with him. And but anyway, Nolan, that was the last time I laid eyes on him. But when we were leaving, obviously, no one is getting left at the island that came with us unless they demanded to, be there and asked, this is a very common thing at Horn Island. When you're out there, a lot of people ride out there with someone and in with somebody else all the time. I've done that 100 times. It's a very common thing, but Nolan was sitting by the boat.
There's a couple things wrong with that interview. The young lady, Katie, that Warren's talking about is Katie McCormick. Katie McCormick's sister, Gracie McCormick, already came out and debunked that story. She also stated that her sister had spoken to the authorities as well as Nolan's parents and explained to them and told them everything. Katie thought Nolan left with them. He did not stay behind with her. Bam. Also, if you notice Warren's interview, he gets kind of off key and like he's trying to remember his line and he can't remember it because that story he told at the end is the exact same story that the United Cajun Navy officer told. Take a look at this clip and see if you hear what I hear.
Nolan, for whatever reason, decided to stay on the island, which is not uncommon. He could have, had this girl he was talking to. He could have just, for whatever reason, decided to stay. Not uncommon. That doesn't give us any reason to think foul play or anything was involved there. The issue is when he stayed on the island, he had to hitch a ride back in with somebody. And there's where the issue becomes, who did he hitch a ride back in exactly? How were these people connected to him? How did they know him? And it's not uncommon for you not to know somebody at all and just say, hey, I need to ride back in. And they say, yeah, come on, get in the boat with us. So if I say, hey, Nancy, come on, get in the boat with us, that means at that point, we're responsible for you.
Do you hear the similarities? Do you not only hear the United Cajun Navy officer try to put it off on Katie and state that the person that is responsible for Nolan is the last person that he hitched a ride with? Everybody's in on the cover up. Now it explains why the United Navy, Cajun Navy officer would take pictures of Nolan. This shit is crazy. But it gets better. Take a look at this clip where Warren is totally contradicting himself later on. I just had to put it here because it makes more sense. Take a look at this clip.
The next day, everybody was panicking and everybody's texting Katie, because she was obviously seen with Nolan the whole day at the island. Katie sent a message to my buddy the next day and said, this is the last time I saw him, he's really sweet. But she also mentioned that the last time she saw Nolan was when my buddy was yelling at him to get on the boat. And she was right there to see that Nolan decided not to.
See what I'm talking about? When I say you can't make this shit up, You cannot make this shit up. Every time they open their mouth, a lie falls out of it. Take a look at this clip. You're going to be amazed.
Like, you couldn't weigh it out anymore. You had to call the Coast Guard.
Well, I mean, like I said, my friends and I have been on the water our whole life. Stuff happens. People die all the time. I know people that have died out there. And, you know, it's a fun place to be, but it's also a very, very dangerous place to be if you're not handling it right. And Nolan, so I hadn't heard from him. And obviously, I'm thinking I'd way rather be safe than sorry. I mean, I would rather call the Coast Guard 100 times and lose my mind over it and my buddy be okay than, you know, not, and, you know, me not know where he is.
He should have had a couple more hours of rehearsal. He fucked that interview up good. You're saying you know how dangerous this island is. You didn't want to take any more chances. You rather to make sure your buddy is safe than sorry, but you left him on the island. So you say, you cannot make these people. I pray every night, each and every person that is involved goes down. But I digress. Let's move on. Next clip.
My reaction was just, I was with my buddy Brooks and I broke down. I mean, I haven't experienced death a lot, but especially with someone I'm as close with as Nolan. And I mean, I broke down and I sat there on my buddy Brooks' shoulder and I cried. And I was upset. I made a couple phone calls to my buddies and checked up on my buddies because, you know, I care about my buddies too. I mean, like, we're all experienced this. Like, we all realized at the same time. We all heard the news at the same time. Like, you know, he's gone. And so it was really, really hard on me. I mean, I've never experienced something like this, and it was traumatic. I mean, I could tell you where and when I was there, when I got that phone call, you know, where I was. And I just remember, like, it was insane. Like, I can't even put into words how upset I was.
It was that insane that not one of you guys attended Nolan Wells' funeral. You couldn't pry me from my friend's funeral. I don't care at any cost. I could have never not been at my good friend's funeral. But it broke you down. When I tell you these kids is going down, they're going down. They're going down. Let's take a look at the last clip.
And we see Benjamin Crump coming to town, made it about race.
Right.
What's your feeling about that? Do you think that any of this has anything to do with race? Or, because, I mean, obviously something happened to Nolan. It appears that you guys may not have been involved at all. Well, I say may not. It's no evidence that you were involved at all. Right. You guys had left. Right. But do you think that there's a racial component to any of this?
Of course not. I mean, I think if Nolan ever felt the most little bit uncomfortable around us, which we never gave him a reason to, but if he did, he wouldn't hang out around us. But if you go look on, you know, like, my friends have had Nolan posted all over our social medias, you know, since freshman year in high school. Like, if Nolan ever felt uncomfortable with us, why would he be hanging out with us all the time? I mean, every day we're back from college, we hang out and we're around each other all the time. So absolutely not. I would never look at Nolan any other way than I would any of my other friends. I mean, he was like a brother to me.
That would be attorney Benjamin Crump to you. Throughout this whole video, I did everything in my power not to say this man's name. Tatum is the same bootlicking man that had to come back and apologize after the Sonia Massey case for his comments. Nevertheless, Warren, how could we see anything of Nolan on any of your social media when you guys deleted them all? Go figure. What everyone needs to understand is the murder statute, which their parents understand it, as well as the judge, for sure, Warren's mom. Under the murder statute, it states if a murder is committed in the commission of a felony, everyone involved is being charged with that murder. Not just one person, everyone. Same thing happened in Carmelo Anthony's case. And this is the reason why they covered it up. This corrupt justice system has to stop. Drop down in the comments how you feel on the new interview that quote unquote Nolan Wells, good friend, did during a sit down with Tatum. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so that you are alerted the next time I upload a new video. And don't forget to follow me for more controversial topics.